I got a murderer up in my grill, and Kaka was like, murder, she wrote, yeah, murder, she wrote. I'm like, I'm sorry, no. The murder here is yours. Bagay didn't even murder, it's self-defense at this point, like proper. I'm gonna take you out, like he thinks he's Hannibal Lecter out here. Clarice, you naughty girl. I'm going to eat you in front of your friend. Clarice, you naughty girl. Yeah, and he's like, but why are you laughing at me? I'm Hannibal Lecter, you naughty girl. Clarice, I'ma kick you scope the ball. Me have been given weapons. Jesus Christ gave me talents. I'm going to depress you till you hang on a noose. Since you're trying to depress me till I hang on a noose, I'm going to disturb you till you hang on a noose. Cause you're trying to disturb me till I hang on a noose. I'm going to ransack you till you hang on a noose. Since you're trying to make sure that I hang on a noose, the noose is rather your noose, but you won't let me loose. So I'm going to depress you till you hang on a noose. Going to disgrace you till you hang on a noose. Even though nobody know who you are, you gon' hang on that noose. Amen. Kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent must take it by force. And Bugger be trying to take me to eternity with him, cause he be out here literally thoroughly comprehending himself as Romeo, oh Romeo, word for I thou Romeo. Let us go and die this together, cause we are star-crossed lovers. I'm sorry, Judy. Juliet actually liked Romeo. I don't like you, I ain't feeling you. I'm like Khalees at this point. I hate you so much right now! Ah! But you think you're Romeo. Romeo, oh Romeo, how about you, Coolio? Literally, get the step in. Marahadi gave me, so he's gonna miss everybody. Queen Caddy, what do you want to do? Do you think my voice is too loud? Well, I mean, really, I've got like a whole cantankerous noise, some rando in America trying to body bag a sister, and I'm like, you first. You hop into that baddie bag bugger since you're already dead, okay? In trespasses and sins having never been truly redeemed, and you out here trying to go out with a bang in eternity with a daughter of God. No. Never. Craig cat, please. Relax, kitty cat, like Bloma. One bar, one disturb, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. And this Okie will not let me have a white Christmas. No, you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna be with Crossed in a minute, but not before I take somebody to hell first. You called it on yourself. Come on, just get to the point. I'm sick and tired of looking up at the computer while I'm talking here, because these are important matters that we need to get to. But a flying kick sometimes gotta come with a song. That's what's good. And the most I can do without being all disturbed and unable to concentrate, really, up in this monstrosity, is sing. Ooh. Gospel. He is of what he used to be. See, now you go and you cut out all of my words. What's wrong with you? Silence detection. Anyway, whatever. I'll just deal it. I'll take it. At least you comprehend our general message. You know, I've got problems. Guys, I've got issues. Yes, Lenjalin. Anyway, let's carry on talking. So where do we go? I think at this point I'm pretty ready to hook up the captions. I gotta work, like multitasking. It's not my thing. I can't do it, you guys. Oh, I struggle. I suffer so much. Somebody make it stop. Oh, suffering. What's up? Okay, finally we're here. Alrighty. Look, there's like a whole assassination attempt all up in the sister girl. You might not want to believe me, but I promise you what's going down. Somebody is out here identifying as Beyonce and ring the alarm in America, because everybody can be what they want in that country. Blowing my nose. And in his little pursuit of you know, diversity, equity, and inclusion, he thoroughly imagines that his country, which indeed it is doing just that, is going to leave him alone to identify as a stalker in the life of a woman because he thinks he's Beyonce and ring the alarm. He will be damned if he see another dude and mom. So he's trying to kill me. Listen up, alright? a desperate soul is trying to end my life, but I need to like basically talk to all other desperate souls that are gonna be all up in my grill. This guy is old news. He's not ever gonna come into my space. Last night I was attacked like violently when I was trying to sleep with like a whole bunch of visions of death cemeteries, and I saw I want you to understand this. Now this guy, he went to a cemetery, guys, and it's not just him. The Lord has been showing me that these people are busy visiting graves now. And among them is this guy. It's like they don't even know they're working together in the same spells, doing the same thing from different geographical locations, unbeknownst to themselves that they're basically trying to copy Christianity in the word where it is written that where 2 or 3 are gathered, there he is with us. So he's trying to get as many devil worshippers as possible to do the exact same ritual at the same time. And this American dude done did this, my cousin done did this, and some other people in some strange coven in the country done did this. Cemeteries, they visit Mabita. You know what? You can get away with being like out of the house at 3 a.m. in the morning, at 4 a.m. in the morning, when you're like 23, because you could just be like, I was in the club, I was in the club. But what in the world do you tell your wife or your wife, pretty much, yeah, or your children when you're like a mom? Like my cousin is like a whole mom and wife. When you're like a husband, like the men in this coven are like entire husbands of thriving families. When under heaven, well, I guess this American guy's a lone ranger, so I guess he can go to a cemetery late at night without anybody giving him grief type setup thing. But all other people that have got a responsible life where they've got to actually wake up in the morning, how in the world are you able to justify certain of your rituals? I mean, isn't your woman out here like singing "It's a thin line between love and hate" to you when you come home at 3 a.m. in the morning? She be thinking you cheating. I mean, these days these buggers are not cheating on their wives with like women. They're cheating on their wives with Satan. Cause like you would much rather confess to having an affair with some nefarious lady on the side that's happy to be a side piece or a mistress rather than confess that you were at a grave. So your wife is out here on some John, Jack, yes, I know, I can smell it, I can sniff it. Something is wrong. I can beg you, Lana boy. Yes, why do you keep coming back at 4 or 5 a.m.? And every time you come back, your shoes are even dirty. Anikwazi nokungena kwi-hotel. Niyenza kuphi le nto niyenzayo? John, ingawe. You're cheating. Woo! Buggers, let me tell you a little shine, okay? It's 2023, and these days wives don't just take in their stride. And even husbands, women that cheat or husbands that cheat, hey, then now they be hiring like private investigators and stuff on some, I suspect my husband is going out on me, and it hurts so bad, but I have no proof because he keeps like telling me that I'm paranoid and he loves me. Ooh, so really and truly make it better and follow the bugger around, put a tracker on his shoe saying I need to know. Ooh, it hurts. And then next thing you've got like a PI all up in your grill, surveilling your every move, willing even to stake out your offices or wherever it is that you're apparently at 3 a.m. in the morning, like until they follow you to a cemetery. Occult practitioners, is 2023. Year of cyber stalking, year of singularity in artificial intelligence. What under heaven makes you think you cannot be followed around by some dude's drone that is earning a salary as a PI? So when then your wife finds out that it's not, are you hungry, honey? Did you eat, baby? Let me hang out your coat. Let me hang up your coat. She be out here thinking you're cheating. And then your PI gives her photos of, wait for it, guys, like, oh, you in trouble? How do you explain that? That's the kind of stuff can't nobody come back from. Kind of stuff you can't forgive a man for. Kind of stuff you're gonna be like, what's happening to me? If he's busy doing that, I can take him cheating on a woman, forgive my husband because it's a first time offense, but how do I take him doing a ritual over a dead body at a cemetery? You won't get busted. You're gonna get busted proper, like alien activity in just your backyard happening because you're an occult practitioner. Your wife can't sleep, your trim can't sleep. There's like demonic activity 24 hours a day. There's like a whole little tigolo. She hanging out at the like foot of your bed, and your wife wakes up in the middle of the night screaming because it's pursuing the husband because now the husband has not succeeded to do a human sacrifice. Hey Bachung, your wife is gonna get you followed around by a private investigator, and then these PIs gonna stake them out until they follow them to a cemetery. So I mean, cousin, one day girl, you gonna get busted chilling on a grave that night. right. And your man gonna be like, hi there, buddy, sister girl. This year calls for divorce, so I would have been relieved that you're not cheating, but like frankly, this ain't about cheating. It's about the fact that you're a devil worshiper and you be doing some strange stuff. I ain't doing it. This is a divorce. Nothing in the scriptures. The only reason that you get in the Bible to divorce a person is marital unfaithfulness. So what then when you are a professing Christian married to a man that is also a professing Christian and you follow him with a PI because you think he's cheating because every so often he comes home at 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning, and then sleeps for 2 hours and goes back into the office. You think he's got a mistress, and then next thing you find out that he's got a cult. He's got a cult. He's got a seance. He's got a cauldron. What are you gonna do? I swear, guys. No. Like, you literally cannot be an occult practitioner and not act like an infidel. You cannot be an occult practitioner and not act like you're like an unfaithful husband. You will literally wear all of the signs of an unfaithful or cheating spouse without cheating. And ultimately you're gonna get some paranoid lady or some crazy lady hiring a PI on you, and then she gonna find out that no, my man was not sleeping with another woman. He was sleeping with a ghost on a on a grave. On a grave. That's what you do. I've been listening to some of these confessions on African confessions on YouTube. Like people, basically, talking about their dalliances and their exploits in the occult. And how some of them be sleeping with dead bodies, like proper. Yeah, in rituals after they have passed away. Yeah, that's what's good. At the cemetery. Like grave watchers or security guards at graves probably make an extra living just from being given hush money. That's what's good. By ritualists on some just keep quiet, don't say anything, give us access to West Park Cemetery from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning and make sure nobody comes to see what's going on, and we'll give you a good 5,000 rands tonight. So dude is like, my wife and kids, at least I'm gonna be able to buy them groceries and some school shoes next month. I'm not even gonna question this. Deal. You're gonna get yourselves followed. But anyway, despite that being a thing, these rituals that you're doing at cemeteries, where you are busy putting people inside graves, you are literally burying entire paraphernalia, like certain people, in graves, so you can render them worthless, unable to move, do anything in life, or worse. I have seen multiple people, I have heard the Lord speaking to me, telling me about multiple people visiting a grave to end my life or keep me in a frozen position, unable to move. And then I've also seen this guy in America in particular putting some safe, it looks like one of those petty cash boxes. Yes, petty cash boxes where you put some loose cash. A red one representing witchcraft that red always represents witchcraft in my dreams, that he buried at a cemetery next to some tombstone, somebody who's died. I did not see the details of what was written on the tombstone, on the headstone, but like what they tend to choose are people that passed away long ago, just to make sure that a person is nicely, thoroughly buried, that they never come up for air again, that they never return and breathe. Kokumoya. Ring the alarm. I've been through this too long, and I'd be damned if I see another dude in your arm. So you go and you bury my photo? I would imagine this guy probably printed my images, because he's never seen me physically, neither does he have any locks of my hair, because I'm in South Africa, he's all the way in the US, so it's probably photographs. It's probably images of me on the internet that he buried at a cemetery. You don't just get to go to a cemetery in the wee hours of the morning. If at all, it is guarded by people. If it's a responsibly fenced in cemetery, there's gonna be guards at the beginning. So you pay money. Either you might maybe hack into it. You sort of kind of climb a fence. That could be dangerous. Or you actually pay a security guard to turn a blind eye, and then you are there at 3-4 a.m. in the morning, digging a hole next to somebody's grave, desecrating people's graves. There is a scripture of that nature in the Bible talking about how it is a filthy practice to mess with people's graves. Don't dishonor the tombs of people that are I stand corrected as to where it is or what it says, but I know that it is definitely a sin against God to desecrate graves like that. It's just it's an unclean act. It's an unclean thing. But these people don't care because they're going against the Bible. They've got upside down crosses all over the show, and they visit cemeteries and they do entire rituals. So there are human beings roaming these streets on this uncomfortable planet of ours that have got locks of their hair buried next to Jim Johns, who died in 1872 at a cemetery in likely even a country they don't even know, because somebody's trying to block their growth on YouTube from watching them from afar. There are people who have got photographs of theirs buried in graves. There are people who have got clothing of theirs buried in graves, or dolls representing them buried in graves by these animals. Kaze, Madota, and Bafazi, men and women that practice these shoddy things. Don't your wives get suspicious that you're cheating on them? And if at all they do get suspicious, one of these days Chiki gon' get you busted cheating, but not on her. Not on her with a woman, but on her with the devil. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff that when you get busted doing, ain't nobody coming back from that. It's hard enough coming back from finding out that your man cheated with a woman. But when you find out that your husband is like a prolific Satanist, that the reason why his shoes are grimy at the bottom, when he comes back, like every Sunday, when you're busy cleaning out the closet, you notice there's mud, and you're like, but what is with my husband and all this mud on his shoes? And then you find out because your PI took photos that he's a whole ritualist. You would even be scared to confront him. You would be scared to be like, I saw what you did, because you'd be like, if my husband is into this and I bust him, what could he do to me? Hi. This little animal in America, the Lord showed me his ritual in particular. Komabitleng. It's not the first time I've seen rituals being done to me by people I've known in the past at graves. So I've got quite a bit of stuff of mine, whatever it might be, that's hidden in graves and stuff, likely photos. I mean, I don't know. A lot of the people that did this to me were not close enough to me to grab my eyelashes or, a piece of my snot. I don't know, locks of my hair. It's likely photos, things you get off Facebook, and then next thing a woman is unable to move, not going anywhere. That's what's good. Yeah, random Satanist. This guy in America conducted another death, another immobility spell, and I saw one of the shorts that I uploaded recently on YouTube basically being the thing that he used, or the thing that inspired him or motivated him to do that. You know how I cut up my videos into shorts, my long form content, and I make it shorts? The most recent shorts that I uploaded, I saw a photo of one of those shorts, so basically an image that was like a bit of a snapshot that was taken of one of my shorts, and likely this was what was used to do a ritual. Like proper. Now imagine all this use of korobela, trying to bring a woman into your life by force, trying to force them to be with you or else. Like, how in the world do you think that a woman will ever recover from such images as those when she once upon a time believed that you did this to her? How in the world do you think she's just gonna get over that? How in the world do you think she's just gonna get over the fact that God showed her you burying something of hers? When I was dating my ex-boyfriend, I had a dream while I was sleeping with him at night. I had a dream of me being encircled by a sea of snakes, and I was sitting on some wall that was lofty, high enough to basically protect me from landing on these snakes, but I had nowhere to go. I could not jump over this wall because on both sides there were snakes. There was a house behind me, where my grandmother was inside it, sewing. My grandmother was a seamstress, so she was just doing whatever she was doing. My grandmother at that stage had already passed away and wanted to jump over this wall and go into that house, but there was like a whole bunch of snakes on the floor, preventing me even from getting to my grandmother's house. And I also had an ominous understanding that if I were to go to my grandmother's house, I was also not going to be safe there. However, looking ahead, I could then jump the wall and go to where my ex was at. It's like it was a whole sea of snakes, and I was on the wall. There was no way I was going to jump and basically take a risk and being amidst a whole bunch of snakes. I saw my ex walking by, and I was like, John, let's say his name was John. I was like, John. And he looked at me, and then I was like, I'm in trouble, come save me. And he just looked away and walked on. And the dream ended like that. What in the world was that? That was before I was even born again with a spiritual gifting. I woke up next to him that morning. I was a fornicator, so yes, I woke up next to my boyfriend, and I told him about the dream I had. And he told me. He didn't say anything. He rebuffed me. He rebuffed me. He quickly snuffed it off. That was God showing me his witchcraft and how he had bound me in chains, that I will go nowhere. I'm going to basically be stranded in one place position with him for the rest of my life. I'm not moving. And me seeing my grandmother at the back, I only came to comprehend years later that what that meant is that if you try to get out of this, you're going to end up where it is that your grandmother is at, essentially in eternity. So this relationship is not going to end with you being happy and merry and going out there in the sunset with any other guy. I'm the last thing you'll ever see as a man. Yo, guys, I was with him at that stage a couple of years dating. I would stay with him for another maybe year and a half ever since that date. That kind of witchcraft. Now, when you wake up next to a man that did that to you, and you have those kinds of dreams, and you're not like the naive Karabo that I used to be, and you brush them off because you don't know what in the world you were seeing, but you're rather the current Karabo that is spirit-filled, that understands what that dream is. When you know for a fact that what that was, when you can interpret a dream successfully, for crying out loud, how in the world are these guys so naive so as to imagine their witchcraft can make you get over that? Like, if I knew that my ex had cast that kind of spell on me, you would never see me again. It would be over. I would have kicked him out of the house, and I would have never taken any of his calls. I would have literally shipped, and the mailing company got post office, anything of his that belonged to, that was still in my apartment. I would not have allowed him to gaze upon me again. I would not have given them to him personally. I would have kicked him out, never seen him again, and shipped his things to where he stays. I would not have even been prepared to drive to where he lives, so as to drop it off there. I would have kept such a distance, literally created some kind of a spiritual restraining order. That's what I would have done. I am that woman today. I see, and I understand my dreams. In 2023, I'm a woman that has grown in a spiritual gifting, and I understand what I see. So because I understand what I see, I ain't trying to touch anything that I know for a fact has been busy with me. Spiritual manipulation at that height. The moment I would find out, I would skedaddle, and I found out about this guy's insanity, and so I skedaddled, and he's trying to come back into my life convincing me that it's not the thing that you see. You're basically paranoid, you're schizophrenic. Ready? FedEx it. That's what's going on there in America. Get it? Yeah, I will ship it. I will send it in an Amazon package and land it on your backyard, the bomb that will neutralize the living daylights out of your life. That's what's good. I will not come anywhere near you. So for any man who is involved in the occult to imagine that in the life of a woman that has got the kind of spiritual gifting that I have got, that they can just worm their way in by somehow concealing their witchcraft or acting like it's not a thing, gaslighting the living daylights out of them, it's gonna be a trial by ordeal. Some people out here in these streets gonna die. You must understand, one of us will remain standing, since you are insistent all the way up until death, and it will not be you. It's gonna be me, because I am seated in heavenly places with the man Christ Jesus, and can't nobody knock me down. 1,000 fall on my left, 10,000 on my right hand, but it does not come near me. Y'all need to understand the level of insanity in the occult, the level of mental illness that people in the occult have is astronomical. They thoroughly expect people who God gives dreams about their wickedness. They expect them to remain zombies for the rest of their days without any ounce or inkling of suspicion, except people who operate in the occult always have behavior, even in the waking space, in the physical realm. The stuff that happens now without spiritual smoke screens. Yeah, that stuff. Even in the waking space, do they give themselves away? There's always something that they are doing that is suspect and is enough to, like I said, cause somebody to, tail you with a little bit of a PI until you get busted doing a ritual. The Lord knows how to bring things to the forefront. They are shady, they are underhanded, secretive people. Oh, guys, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Like, Lord God Almighty, have mercy on me. I just remembered something. When I was with this guy, the one in America, I dated him, like, very briefly. He became my fiance for, like, all of 5 seconds, okay? Yeah, very, very briefly. And there was a time when he was basically manufacturing a scenario in his mind of our life together. And he said something like this, and I don't know why this did not just happen upon me with suspicion. I should have just picked up what in the world that was. He said that one day when you and I are living together, maybe we're gonna... he was also a sexual pervert, and I should have known that because he used to like talking about role play a lot. Role play. Like as in sexual innuendo, role play, like, ooh, I'm a nun, ooh, I'm an air hostess wearing a uniform. He had a fetish of that nature. He had a role play fetish, like you acting like a damsel in distress. Imagine that. Like, I never did anything of that nature when I was dating my ex-boyfriend ever. Like, acting like a Barbie. Like, this guy had a sexual perversion, a very deep one, and I should have picked it up. And he told me in a scenario that he was planning in his mind that one day when we are doing role play, he kept saying role play, like he kept raising it over and over again. One time when I was speaking to him, I responded to him with like a British accent. Hi there, how you doing? Just being funny. And he was like, oh, I like it. You can use it in role play. He said that so many times that to me it was like, what is with this guy and role play? Like, you watch too much porn. That's the problem. You watch too much pornography. You must have seen that from somewhere and fetishized it and longed for it and desired it to a point where you would have been prepared to go and teach a woman such sexual perversions that is a Christian in a marriage. He would have done that. Like, there were so many red flags. Anyway, let's move past that thing. He said to me that one day when you and I are role playing, I don't do that and I ain't even trying to learn. But anyway, I rolled with that conversation anyway. When we're role playing, I'm going to leave like at like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning and then come back just a couple of minutes later. And then you go and act like I don't know, a nun or whatever. Like, he was a pervert, a complete pervert. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, whoa, type thing. That was my reaction. But later on, after I snapped out of whatever under heaven he had put me under, the trance that he had put me in, when I snapped out of it, I was like, why would that guy, even in the space of sexual perversions and things like role play, why would he ever fathom a role play where he has to leave at 2 a.m. in the morning and come back a couple of minutes later? Why 2 a.m.? Why would you need to leave at 2 a.m. in the morning? Where are you going? That's the thing. People in the occult, people who practice demonic rituals, they gotta do their things in the night. Even the Bible says that all that which is wicked gets done in the darkness, and however you are children of light, and as salt and light, I guess you need a city on a hill type set up thing. But the fruitless deeds of darkness, they're done in the darkness. They're done in when it's night time. They like to go out. That's different parts of the Bible, not the same passage of work, body of work, right, of the scriptures. Very well. They have to do their rituals at night, or I guess is what the devil chooses. They cannot be seen in broad daylight. They are also children of the darkness, so they prefer like switched off things. Even people who have shrines in their houses, those rooms, you will come to learn, tend to have no windows, or if they have windows, they're always closed. No curtain ever gets opened. They have to do what they do at night. So of course, those hours of the day that are pitch black, that's when they got to do all their rituals. They cannot do it during the day in a way that could help them elude suspicion, in a way that can make them escape suspicion. Do you understand what I'm saying? They've got to do it at night. And things done at night disquiet everybody in the household. They disquiet the children that are sleeping. They disquiet the wife that is sleeping. They disquiet even the nanny that is sleeping in the servants' quarters. Footsteps at night are uncomfortable to take in your stride. You freak out. You've got hairs that raise on your skin in a way that footsteps during the day, you just wonder, ooh, who's coming? Who's outside? Because you understand that thieves are not going to be so dumb as to try and rob your house at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. When you hear footsteps outside of your house at 2 a.m. in the morning, then you have cause to be concerned that it might be a robber instead of your teenage girl coming back from running away from home. Or rather, what is this? Sneaking out of home type establishment thing. Nothing of a nightly activity that is done busiku is without suspicion. That's what's good. People will always suspect offish activity when it happens at night, and initially they will suspect you of regular things that people do at night that are sober in the head, like you're cheating on me, right? That's the first thing they'll hop to. But then when they find out that it's not cheating but a satanic ritual, what in the world? What in the world? They have got to do things at night, and they are practitioners in this regard, having to upkeep their darkness. That's what's good for the rest of their days, otherwise it falls apart. They have to keep their acquisitions together with sticky tape. They keep their acquisitions in the darkness together with sticky tape, and so because they keep them together with sticky tape, they can't just let it go. They can't just move on. Once they've done one ritual, they have to constantly keep on going back to the drawing board. Meaning that this is a man that you're going to be married to that is always going to be sneaking out at 2 a.m. At least 4 times a month, at least 5 times a month, and you will be thinking that he's properly servicing a mistress. Kanti, he's busy with witchcraft. Why are you coming home at 2 a.m. in the morning? Or why are you leaving the house at 11 p.m. at night? Why are you? What is going on? You will have fights with your wife that you are not cheating on, because you're somehow an honest ritualist, whatever that even means. A wife that you're not cheating on, but that suspects you of cheating because you're not cheating. No, you're not cheating. What you're doing is doing rituals. You're doing satanic rituals on the woman you love. If my ex-boyfriend, God exposed him when we were still dating, on the night, like my ex, he was at my apartment, and I only used to see him on the weekends. He would come over only on the weekends. God waited to allow that dream to be seen when he was next to me in bed. It could have happened anytime during the week when I was alone in my bed during the week, but it happened on the night that I was with him. I was yet to be saved. I was still fornicating, and yet God gave me grace enough to dream that dream on the night that he came to see me. And when I told him about it, he rebuffed me. He quickly snubbed me. He quickly pushed it aside, and I did not know what I was seeing, so I also let it go. As well as he gaslit me, as quickly as he gaslit me, I let it go. As quickly as he gaslit me, I let it go. How in the world do you anticipate, occult practitioners, since you have such an obsession with Christian women, how do you anticipate that you're not going to basically be a living nightmare next to them every night when they are indwelt by the Holy Spirit? Your naivety in pursuit of godly women is astronomical, because you are literally asking to be Chucky and Chucky's bride. By all means, you can be Chucky and Chucky's bride with a lost woman that is also in the occult. The two of y'all litumpane, just like with my cousin and her husband, the two of them are always like papa in the cosmos, always warring with each other, slapping each other with witchcraft. He doesn't trust her, she doesn't trust him, and so they slap one another. Their marriage is cantankerous. It is a whole incredibly crazy little dark thing that they are doing. I don't know how the kids survive in that household. That's what's good. But when you are dealing with one person that is sober and one that is crazy, perhaps with a worldly woman, like I was worldly back when I was still dating my ex-boyfriend, you can get away with it because she will tell you, babe, I had this funny dream about you, and babe will brush it off. But when you're dealing with a spirit-filled woman, dream on. Your pursuit of godly girls, I just feel as if they'll stop. Because she's not gonna let it go. And the moment she finds out that that's what's going on, like this dude was able to slip into my life, this guy from America, he was able to slip into my life for all of 5 seconds, and the thing that he used to succeed to slip into my life was my sorrow. I was going through a lot, and so I was very full of compromise, in the sense that I just wanted relief for my sorrow. I'm still in that sorrow, but now I have got a guard up that is made of titanium. Nobody is going to pierce through it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Precisely because of what this guy endured me through. He put such a big guard up that nobody else can ever do what he did to me, or at least what he attempted to do. And given that I had put my guard down thanks to my sorrow, I ignored a lot of red flags. I ignored a lot of things that God was even showing me in dreams, because of the fact that I was so tired of sorrow, and I was so tired of loneliness, and I was exhausted with persecution by my family and all that jazz. So I took a lot of nonsense in my stride, just lying down. That's what's good. Disturbing, right? Very disturbing. Yeah, but now and I have gotten over my pain. I have gotten over the kind of pain that makes a woman ignore danger when it is lurking in the room, gawking at her, because she wants temporary reprieve, temporary relief. I've gotten over that. So nobody can ever do this to me again. Therefore, everybody else that is trying to sneak into my life is naive. Because this man in America literally trained me to be so avoidant, so as to abhor these men to a point of, should anything of theirs land in my backyard, I would not insist on meeting them to give it back to them. I would mail it to them. I would courier it to them, because I came out of my bone. I would not even want to touch such a person of this nature. Allow me to explain to you why I want nothing to do with people in the occult, especially in a romantic capacity. It is because of the things have to do in order to get to where you need to get. When you have got no conviction that you need to stop this stuff, on that day you're like a crazy person. You're like a crazy man. For instance, let me make an example. And crazy people, to be in the midst of the, oh my goodness, let me say, when you are encircled by a lunatic in the ecosystem, whether or not that lunatic is dangerous is irrelevant. Whether or not they can actually kill is irrelevant, because there's always a chance that they might reach a new height of their insanity, to a point where the otherwise innocuous lunatic that just walks around mumbling inaudible things, incoherent things, the street, there is always a chance, given their current psychosis, that they could graduate now to just picking up a stone and throwing it at your head and killing you, or leaving you concussed. Do you understand? Crazy people are dangerous in society. That's why they've got to be quarantined or kept in a particular bunch, because there is no gauging what they could do, because their psychosis could elevate, it could graduate to a new level where now it is no longer innocuous murmurings of inaudible or incoherent words, but now it has become assault of which can then also end up being murder, right? So when you see a naked man on the street babbling, speaking things you cannot understand, would you insist on walking towards them and asking, sir, why aren't you wearing anything? I mean, come on, I've got like in my house, my late husband's clothing. Maybe we can put that on your body so that you're not indecent in public, because this is not okay. Shame, hey, are you hungry? Would you do that? Guys, when you see a naked man in the street, the first thing that comes in your mind is rape, insanity, potential murder, unsafe in that presence, incontinent, impetuous, faculties loose. Nothing is going on. And when a person is like that, it is not unfathomable or unfeasible to foresee or speculate that they might, even if they've never killed before, just by mere virtue of doing that one insane thing, you ought avoid them with like a violent distance. That's what's good. They are to be given over to authorities. That's what's good. So the police must be called when there is a naked man walking around in the park. Whether or not he's actually trying to chase after women, he is scary. Children will run away from the swings where they're swinging. People will just avoid them. There will be a diameter around this man walking around naked in the park that is wide. Because of the fact that people are just going to be avoidant, but then they will get on the phone and call the police of which will then apprehend this man, put clothes on him and put him in prison, because they are trained officials, trained to be able to deal with matters of this nature. That's what's good. That feels as if though they can touch witchcraft. To spiritually manipulate the outcomes of a person's life is exactly like a crazy person in the park that is walking around naked. You don't know how innocuous they are. You don't know how far they're prepared to go with witchcraft. You don't know if they're the kinds of people that just want to cause their friend's hair to fall off because they're jealous, or if they are so jealous that they would go so far as to literally rest in peace that friend, like unalive that friend. You don't know the extremity that people in the darkness can partake in, because just by mere virtue of using sorcery to spiritually manipulate the outcomes of a person's life, that gives you a psychosis on its own. It is taking matters too far. Most people, when they're jealous of a person in the room, will maybe just look at them strangely and perhaps pass them shade, give them attitude. But a person that is jealous of a person to a point of sabotage, you're jealous of your colleague, so you lie to your boss, them calling you in the morning and saying, I'm going to be late, please let the boss know. I can't reach them, I think they're in a meeting, but just let them know on my behalf. And then you deliberately don't tell your boss because you want them to get a note for tardiness, or you want them to get fired or given a first written warning or whatever. That is a psychosis. And the moment somebody finds that out about you, would you keep that friend? Would you keep that person around? The moment you find out that this person literally chose not to relay the message or told your boss they wanted to sleep in an extra 10 minutes, and so they're going to be late by 2 hours, and that's what he told you on the phone, that you told your friend in the office that you want to sleep in for 2 more hours and get to the office at 11 a.m. And this person tells that to your boss. As soon as you find out that that's what was told to your boss, after your boss gives you attitude for like 3 whole weeks and you don't know why, when you find out, would you keep that person around, or would you keep a clean distance from them? You would keep a clean distance. Very different when you are envious and you just pass somebody's shade and stare them up and down like they stank, but then do nothing else after that, versus active sabotage. People who involve themselves in active sabotage have graduated to the newest level, psychosis. And witchcraft is an act of active sabotage. When you envy your friend to a point of blocking her prospects for marriage, blocking her prospects for getting a job, blocking her prospects for success in the future, I apologize for the speech lag, blocking her, when you actively sabotage, when you pull the rug from under a person's feet, when you throw them under the bus, on that day you are psychotic. And what's worse is that you are even more, you're with an even deeper neurosis, right? Due to the fact that you then go on right ahead afterwards and act like you didn't do it. So the colleague that lies about you to the boss and then still has lunch with you, still exchanges notes with you in the office, they're acting normal, like nothing happened. They're not even ashamed enough to pass you shade after sabotaging you. That is another level of psychosis. That is a new psychosis. That is basically a confirmation or confession by this person that I'm so sick in the head that I'm going to go on right ahead and throw you under the bus and then act like I didn't do it. And then when you survive that bus accident, still continue and anyway to come and visit you in the hospital when you are recovering and pretend that I'm not the one that threw you under the bus. Yeah, that's a psychosis. That is a deep psychosis. And witches stick around in the lives of their friends and family members that they've thrown under the bus, and they are active saboteurs. So when a person has got an active psychosis, you don't know how far they're going to go. They could either sabotage you until you lose your job, or they could go all the way to the point of killing you. And witches are these people that you never really know what slippery slope they're in, given that they consume demons, and so they go from bad to worse. Today they might just mess up with your prospects of getting a job promotion, but tomorrow they might actually try to kill you. They graduate to new levels of insanity. It happened with my ex-boyfriend. He never touched death curses for pretty much the first time I was slapped with a death curse from my ex-boyfriend, who started bewitching me how many years ago? All those years ago when we were still together. I was born again in 2011. So I was with him 2010, 9, 8, etc. Yeah. He started afflicting me from your 2008, 9 ill. That's what's good. And it took him 15 years to graduate to the point of a death spell. So they can get there. He was one of those, I could never kill a person until he imagined it a necessary evil for a person to die. When their witchcraft then gets to a point where stuff gets too embarrassing, then all of a sudden death is okay. By then they've consumed so many demons that they feel as if they can take death in their stride. So murder is easy. That's why this guy in the US has always been a criminal. So it was very easy for him to quickly graduate to murder as soon as I didn't want to be with him. But it took a lot longer for my ex-boyfriend because he wasn't a career criminal. He wasn't the kind of person to just easily steal. He was more careful for what society thought about him than this loose cannon of a psychopath in America. Therefore, because of my experiences with witches, I'm literally avoidant of all of them. Due to the fact that I literally don't know what is the extremity of what they can do. You're a naked man walking in the park. You might not be a rapist, just a crazy guy, but bottom line is just the fact that you have that psychosis means there is no end as to where you could graduate to. So you're avoidable entirely. You're entirely avoidable until such time that you acknowledge your psychosis and take your meds. The only time that they start to become safe in your presence is when they truly give their lives to Jesus. Stop dabbling and actively seek out rehab to conquer the darkness that they're walking in. Anything absent, this person is not safe in anybody's life. You have no business sticking around in the presence of a friend that can pull the rug from under your feet, and then they just come back and they say, sorry, I'm sorry, you don't get to apologize for bewitching me. It's tomorrow you're gonna kill me even though today all you did was slap me. Tomorrow you're gonna kill me even though all you did today was sabotage my career. Tomorrow you're gonna kill me because you eventually graduate to murder. You do. So yeah, courier it, whatever belongs to them. However, unfortunately, you sometimes get those that now, because they want to be more respectable in society, they then claim they have given their lives over to Jesus Christ. These are the most dangerous ones, and these are the ones that this guy in America is. He was a professing Christian, yet he was busy with witchcraft hard knock. How did I find out? Spiritual dreams, spiritual giftedness, and on top of that, he was rude. I did not leave this guy because he was involved in witchcraft. I left him because he was rude. That's how I've broken up with I've only been with 2 guys since being a Christian, and both relationships lasted the first guy, it was 2 months. This dude worked with the US 3 or 4 weeks. He proposed to me quite immediately. That's what's good. The relationships did not last because these men could not help but manifest demons. They could not help but manifest demons that made them so rude that for me it was just basic ABC 1, 2, 3 mathematics. If a man is rude to you, if a man does not speak to you kindly, if a man can gaslight you, pass you shade, give you reverse psychology, ghost you, just act like a little all up in your grill that's throwing his toys out the cot, that's not a relationship you have any business being in. So basic human dating relationship principles are what made me walk away. I'm not being well treated here. This guy is rude. He's he's got these underhanded, shoddy, second, backhanded compliments that he throws in my general grill. I'm gonna be pregnant one day heavily with his child, and he's going to call me a zebra for having stretch marks on my tummy. So no, I'm not gonna stay here. He was verbally abusive, just like the first guy. But after I finally officially walked away, that's when I suddenly realized the amount of witchcraft he's involved in. He started to send me so much witchcraft that I could not stay naive concerning what I was seeing. Throughout the time when I was with him, all the witchcraft that God was showing me was concealed behind other images, other people, aberrations of sort. However, after we broke up, I saw him in broad daylight, like his face and everything was exposed in the dream. So he basically rocked up with witchcraft to conceal his face, where he was doing spells because he knew that I had a spiritual gifting to block me from seeing what he was seeing. And it worked for 5 seconds, but his demons betrayed him. He manifested demons all up in my grill and became rude. I dumped him, following which the Lord was like, I'm going to even blow the top his concealing witchcraft to hide what it is that he's doing from your eyes. You're gonna see his face. And so now every time he casts a spell, in the nakedness that he is in. And last night I saw him, the dream of him burying something of mine at a cemetery. This guy is trying to kill me, and I have said it over and over again, and nobody has come to my rescue. So now I am literally determined to depress him until he ends his own life. I don't even think that's what's going to end this guy. The Lord made it clear to me that other people in the occult are going to neutralize him. But in the run-up to, I'm going to chip away at him until he is finished off, because he's not going to leave me alone. He is telling himself that nobody else is going to be with me. He's telling himself that nothing else is going to touch me. He imagines himself as one that has prospered to quiet me up, silence me, literally smother me unto death, except the Lord will have nothing to do with that nature. How in the world am I supposed, occult people that are so desperate for God's daughters, to just ignore my spiritual gifting when I see a naked man in the park? You don't just get to apologize about that, because tomorrow you're not going to be just naked, you're going to be raping me. Like, there is no waking up. If I could get the dream that I got about my ex-boyfriend when we were together all those years ago, when I was yet to be saved, before my spiritual gift was fine-tuned, if I could dream about his witchcraft lying next to him in bed, how much more now am I dreaming such dreams? And how much more impossible is it for a man who is involved in darkness to succeed to stay in my life for any amount of time? How much more impossible is it now? I am not about to wake up next to a man that I found out did a ritual on me and stay in the relationship. So essentially it is over before it even starts. Even if you might deceive me and get me talking to you or going on one date with you, at some point I will learn. And when I learn, I will courier the hair, like the handkerchief that you left in my car to you, because I will not touch you. I cannot. Like, I literally cannot. Spiritual manipulation of people's lives is a deep psychosis. It is active sabotage reacting to jealousy, and that is, for me, unacceptable. It is a deal breaker in friendship. It is a deal breaker in relationships. It is just a deal breaker, period. Even in acquaintances, like if you are a colleague that I would find out you've cast a spell on me, fine, I gotta work with you here in this office. But don't expect me to be having lunch with you or even look at you twice after we have a conversation about the marketing plan. Like, we're not doing it. I cannot stand them. They're psychotic, but sanya. And what's worse is they will have a normal conversation with you after they've done what they've done. It is a deep psychosis. Deep. And this little animal in America with these deep psychosis thoroughly imagines that the day's going to arrive when I'm in his life, because he has frustrated me to a point of now settling. Ke tlo lora, nyoko, e tlo tsoang ka 2 a.m. in the morning to go and do a ritual and then come back and expect me to wear a nun's outfit because he's got a fetish of that nature, or an air hostess outfit, or a maid outfit because he's got that kind of fetish. A Christian woman busy doing role play with whips and devil horns that I'm wearing and fishnet stockings because I'm married, an unbeliever, an ungodly man that wants to make out of me everything he's seen on a XXX site, given that he's never given his life to God. So he still has all these deep perversions in him that he caused his ex-wives and every other woman he slept with to abide by. Because in the world, everything goes in the bedroom. Everything goes. All different kinds of manner of sexual perversions go. But as a Christian woman, there are certain things that we just don't do. But this dude be out here trying to get a godly woman to wear a maid's outfit and say, master, spank me proper. That's what this dude was into. And I, for the life of me, was too blind for 5 seconds to see it. But once I got out of it, he is an abhorrence to me. He is detestable. He is something that is so far away from me and will never touch me ever again that I find it incredibly naive that he would imagine that I would ever come into his life. Nonetheless, I told you, they've got a deep psychosis, so me imagining him violently naive to think I would one day turn around and change my mind, he thinks it's possible. Because that's what happens when people are crazy. have a warped sense of reality. They thoroughly do not understand. When somebody says no, to them it's like, nah, I'm sorry. Like, it's crazy, guys. Like, I don't even need to keep on talking. Because this is just, it's sensible. What I'm saying makes sense. Yet I am being heavily pursued by the occult. So wait, if you guys think that I'm bloodthirsty, just wanting to spill the guts of a guy, I'm dealing with a menace that's rolling around in my ecosystem, having started out initially, do you understand, being somewhat innocuous with the kinds of spells he was casting. And by innocuous, I mean really in inverted commas, because it's not innocuousness. It's not innocent to try and make a woman fall in love with you using adjust things in your favor so that a woman can look at no one but you. It's not innocuous, but it's not the kind of witchcraft that can kill a person. He started out with lighter-hearted sorcery against me. But understand what sorcery it is that it was lighter-hearted. Listen to what it was. On Facebook, I suddenly stopped getting friend requests. In my old Facebook, in my new Facebook, I stopped getting DM'd by anybody, especially guys that are trying to holler at me. He used to watch my YouTube channel struggle to grow, where I would upload a post and get no views. And he would be like, and whenever I would get, for instance, after 24 hours, 5 views on a video, he'd be like, oh, look at that, babe, 5 people watched you. But he was the one that was busy doing that to my content, making sure it goes nowhere. He wanted to be the only provider for me, so that and in order to make sure I never ever get to a point where I'm making my own money, he made sure that my YouTube channel goes nowhere. I mean, that appears to be innocuous witchcraft in the sense that it wasn't necessarily killing me, but it is so much sabotage and so much manipulation of a person's life that essentially, if at all you end up with a person like this, you are a puppet on a string, you're a zombie. You are something being controlled with a robot, like a Stepford wife. And that guy was already determined to achieve that in my life. Asang from out of nowhere, he came into my life, accommodated him for 5 seconds, and I was already a Stepford girlfriend. Yes, like it.